Open your mind's door to JSNP4. Open your mind's door to JSNP4. American dream, relocated to Tennessee. Now he's on 10 acres, GMO free. Planting info seeds in the minds of the sheep.
Okay, now I gotta tell you guys, again, I just did a video this morning and found this again, so I gotta do a third video on this particular matter. And in recapping, we had at the end of November, news channel, I think it was 10 or something, I don't remember, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, showing the beach is gone, parking meters gone, sidewalk gone, everything is gone. The water has risen, high tide came in and never left. That happened in early November, very early, basically around, I think, the time Hurricane Sandy came by. It has not receded. That's a major problem. So, literally, what was it, yesterday? Did a video last night about power lines catching fire throughout Texas. Multiple places, not in the same area, different areas. Same exact scenario, power lines catching fire. I mentioned to you that the solar activity recently, there's been a couple big events, as far as like solar, mass, what do they call it? Coronal mass ejections, CMEs, etc. And there's one of note that I just saw this morning that was, as you can see on the screen, December 5th, 2012. And considering what the date is today, basically a couple of days later, and yesterday's when this thing happened in Texas, etc. I want to throw another thing in there. Patrick Garrell's timeline of solar eruptions on the sun, or major activity anyways. I had a pop-up on my calendar the other day, just literally days ago, saying, hey, is there any abnormal sun activity? Because I went ahead and wrote down his cycle and put calendar reminders on my calendar in Outlook on my computer to remind me of the next time to pay attention to see if anything is wacky going on with the sun. So this particular image, as you can see, we have this thing up here, this thing down here. It's like these two little, beams or whatever coming straight out of the sun, both the top here and the bottom, and then on the right side is just massively lit up, almost as if there's like something here, you know what I mean? Almost as if there was like some kind of chemical or whatever that caught fire. And I'm using extreme layman terms here, so bear with me. You don't see it over here, you don't see it anywhere, and to be honest with you, I have never, ever watching the sun for years and years and years, watching these same images from NASA, and this is, by the way, is NASA's image, the LASCO 2 satellite. I've never seen anything like this that goes all the way around, and as you can see, it's cut off on the right just because of the way the image is, but I'm assuming this whole thing goes almost in practically a semicircle here, half a circle. I've never seen something like this. I've never seen these beams of energy straight shot right out of the sun sideways, just like this. This is just so odd. Again, keep in mind this date. Let me move my mouse. 12/5/2012. So I went over to the NASA website, and here's the LASCO site, lasco-www.navy.mil/daily_mpg. This is the NASA website where they store that stuff. You can see they have every year in here, going back to 96. Scroll down to 2012, and we're at 12 of 2012, right? There's all the months. And I don't understand, to be honest with you, why I'm seeing February of 2010, October of 2012, and whatnot. I don't know why they put that in there. However, if you scroll down, it goes through every single date of this month, and maybe they just have it going back a few months. I don't know, but the bottom line is, if you look at the dates, they're right in order. Every day's there. 1st of November, 2nd of November, 3rd of November, etc., etc., etc. Get down to December. Take a look. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th of December. Oh, what's that? Something's missing. 4th is missing from the 5th, 6th, or after the 4th. 5th and 6th are missing, but we have the 7th here, which is today. So Where did the 5th go and where did the 6th go? It has been scrubbed. It has been moved. And if you watch this video, which I'll link to you, this guy's particular video. Matter of fact, I'll just back it up and show you real quick how they blipped it out of there so fast that you'd have to be really paying attention to catch it. Did you see it? That was the flash. Watch out again. Watch how fast it's scrubbed out. Like they just give you like a couple frames or one frame and then it's gone. Right there. That's what we're looking at. That is what that little blip was. They are scrubbing these images. They do not want you and me and the whole world seeing this. Why not? Why wouldn't we want to see this? Because it's going to be very obvious, painfully obvious, in the near future. I have a feeling here. Again, mind calendar stuff. Does that mean this is major doom's coming in the next 15 days? No. I'm not going to sit here and say that. What I am saying is what I've always said. Until I see a slowing down or a climax peak and then go the other way and slow back down of solar activity, earthquake activity, etc., the whole thing, which, by the way, is all related to the sun and the solar activity. When I see that slowing down and finally hit a peak and then settle down, then I'll go ahead and let my guard down on the whole 2012 thing. And by the way, it's not due to hit solar climax, again, from what even NASA is saying, until sometime in possibly 2013 or so. I'm not even sure the exact time frame right now, but that was the latest that I've heard. So, of course, that's after 2012, the Mayan date, etc. Having said that, if it becomes obvious that you see something like this taking place on the sun, and then all of a sudden an earthquake, which again, we had an earthquake last night in Japan, 7.3. Hours before that, many hours, whatever it was, before that, we had literally power lines catching on fire. And if you don't know the significance of that, look back in the 1800s when they have what was known as the Carrington event, which was a massive solar flare that caused the telecommunications lines back then to catch fire, which were the, I can't even think of the name now, telegraph lines just caught fire. So that's a very, very interesting thing that happened then. And now we have telephone wires catching fire right during the time frame of this thing popping off the sun. And from the looks of that, that was not even a direct facing the Earth type of event. It's going off to the right. I don't think that's where our planet is. Sometimes I have to look at the some of the other images to see where when the solar flares pop, which direction they're facing or whatever. But I don't believe that was Earth facing. However, it was scrubbed, so I can't sit here and tell you for sure one way or the other. But again, when you look at this upper right corner, bottom right corner, and obviously to the far right side, which we can't see because this thing is just a square and it's blocking it, what does that look like, and why is all of that lit up? In other words, when I see this, and I see it like this thing up here to the top right is massively bright, bottom right, obviously the whole right side is bright. Why is it then where I'm moving my mouse right now, this whole area between the brightness and the sun, so all in here, why is that not bright? In other words, it's like this little beam shoots out, this little beam shoots out, hits something over here, causes it to charge up, and it's massive. Because if this is the sun, which it is, if that's the sun and it's beaming up, lighting up something out here, like it just set it on fire, so to speak, whatever it is absolutely enormous in size. No, I don't think it's a planet. No, I don't think it's some kind of body. What I do think it is especially if you listen to Dr. La Violette and some other people, they talk about this. Even NASA, as a matter of fact, have said there's some kind of gas cloud thing is in space. It's entering our system right now. This was talked about like probably a couple of years ago, even maybe 2011. I don't know if I heard it in 2010, but maybe around 2011 sometime. And again, this is also stuff I've been following for a while. Patrick Garrell, some other people, Dr. La Violette talking about this gas cloud. Is that gas cloud thing, whatever the hell it is that what's being lit up right now? And if it is that around planet Earth somehow? Because it should be if it's that big around the sun. Long story short, this is what the big event's going to be. It's going to be completely related to the sun. Sure, it can knock out power lines. I mean, it just caught some on fire, obviously. and NASA is scrubbing this, as I just showed you on the screenshot of the other page. They are removing completely the last 2 days of LASCO 2 here, which shows exactly what this would have looked like. So you and I, who pay taxes, who get to pay for these great advancements in science and technology to monitor these things, to keep us safe, of course, so we would know when something bad's coming, we don't get to know. Only a certain group of people get to know, and that's your beloved government, of course. So people may think that I'm crazy, as I said, because I'm moving to Tennessee in a hurry to get away from the coast, to get away from the city folks, to get away from where mass chaos could ensue, and start somewhat of a new life, if you will, out there in the boondocks of Tennessee with my boss. So I want to share this with you. Again, as I said last night, before I even had this as evidence, I said take what I'm saying with a grain of salt if you want, or take it very seriously. I personally am taking it seriously. So, I mean, this speaks for itself. I don't even have to speak right now. I could just show you this, and it would speak for itself. So, take care.